You know what? Before we go on to all the stuff that I've said, I want to ask, Aaron and Kenny, were you guys one of those guys who were saying Bukayo Saka should not be playing and he's going to ruin his career?
Yeah, I was one of them people. Yeah,
Don't you
purely
feel it?
because I thought it was a risk. Purely
Don't you feel
because I
ashamed of
thought it was a
yourself?
risk, and it still was. It's paid off, and do you know what? I'm double grateful it's paid off because I didn't want him to get a setback. But yeah, look,
Yeah.
the risk has paid off,
I
but
stand
it's
by what I
still a
said.
risk. Yeah,
I
100%.
stand by
You guys,
100%
so
what
you're
I
going to be
said.
wrong and strong.
No, I
Yeah.
stand 100% by what I said. It's not wrong and strong. He was.
Yeah,
The
you're wrong
fact
and
is
strong.
that
You
he's
think
not
you know
fully
better than the
up,
doctors.
fit. You know, he didn't last 90 minutes in the games. He did his bit. He was taken off.
Did you celebrate
So if
Saka's
he was
goal?
100%
Were you
fit,
happy?
if he was 100, the
course
goal
you
was
were.
fantastic. In fact, he scored 2 goals. I've always been Saka's fan. I was never once denied that Saka was a top class player. I've always said it's the team is
But don't you
built
kind of
around
feel
one
silly
player.
that you said we shouldn't go into
But
this game without it?
in terms of him being fully fit, he isn't fully fit. But what
It
he's
doesn't
doing,
matter.
100%, he's playing in bursts. So
It
I
doesn't
stand by
matter.
what I
It
said.
doesn't matter.
I'm not going to go in hiding for anybody.
No. Kenny,
No way.
you need to go in hiding.
And definitely ain't going to apologise. Man, I've been with
You
my
and
missus for
Aaron
11
both.
years. I ain't said sorry
You
to
and
her
Aaron
once.
both
You
need to go in
definitely
a
ain't getting
bunker.
one, you lot, mate. Don't worry about that.
One second. You and Aaron both need to go into a bunker because that's war crimes against Arsenal to try to say we should go into a
No, it's
tie
not
against
war
Real
crimes against
Madrid.
Arsenal.
That
Not
is
war crimes
to
against
say
Arsenal.
we should go into the tie.
Mate,
to say we should go into the
your
tie.
match 11 was a war crime,
No.
mate. You should be going to the bunker from there.
This is the first topic we're discussing for a reason because Bukayo Saka is one of our talismans. He's one of the reasons why we were able to compete for this league as much as we were because of the amount of games that he missed. And for you guys to say Bukayo Saka, we shouldn't play him. You guys all of a sudden know better than the doctor.
Sorry, I didn't hear your first point. You said Bukayo Saka.
I let you guys speak. I sat back.
I didn't hear it properly.
Okay, you know what? I trigger everybody so much, so go ahead.
Was it still a risk regardless?
No,
it was still a risk regardless.
The league, I want to hear it because I couldn't hear the full point because I can't answer it if I don't hear everything you said.
Are you talking about me or somebody else?
Yeah, what was the question?
You.
I didn't ask a question. I'm making an overall point. You guys don't know better than the doctors. Stop talking like you know everything. There's things that you guys don't have information on. Because when you jump to the conclusion, and say Bukayo Saka. One second. Let me finish. You want to continue, Kenny?
No, I'm just saying we're allowed to have our opinion. We're not.
You're allowed to have your opinion, but understand you don't know better than the doctors.
Kenny. You
don't know better than the doctors. No.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know.
You don't know better than the doctors at Arsenal. You don't know better than the medical team at Arsenal. You don't know how the player is reacting in training. You don't see him week in, week out. For Arsenal to have Bukayo Saka missing for what is it, 4 months, if I'm not mistaken, and then him come back, and then people have the audacity to say, "Oh, we're rushing him back after 4 months." We're rushing him back after 4 months. Oh, after 4 months, people are saying we should not play him for the end of the season. Let him have the season off. Just be honest. You wanted Arsenal to fail. You want Arteta sacked, and you did not want us. You did not want Bukayo Saka to play. You did not want Bukayo Saka to play to suit your agenda. That is the facts. Maybe it's not you. Maybe 1 second. Maybe it's not you. But the honest truth is,
fail.
No, bro. There's
can I mention this point as well?
There's definitely people.
This is why
it's not me.
One at a time.
If it doesn't apply to you, don't get triggered. If it doesn't apply to you, don't get triggered. I'm speaking to the masses here. I'm not speaking only to you guys in the panel. There's people watching also. And there are people who said Bukayo Saka should not play because the manager is going to ruin his career and he's risking everything for his own legacy and not the best interest of Bukayo Saka, as if they know better than the manager, better than the thing. And don't act like you guys have not heard this on many streams, when a Northside speaking or Lee Gunner speaking, talking about Bukayo Saka is not going to come back the same player. He came back half fit, as you guys are saying, and he bossed Real Madrid, outplayed Jude Bellingham, outplayed Kylian Mbappe, outplayed Rodrigo, who shamelessly, to this day, Lee Gunner still thinks is better than Bukayo Saka. And also Kylian Mbappe, who? Vinicius, who? These guys had nothing on Arsenal's defense. And Bukayo Saka had them running around like nothing. Defensively, they couldn't keep up with us. And tactically, they had no idea what they were doing. Mikel Arteta tactically outclassed Carlo Ancelotti over the 2 legs. And one thing you guys have been doing consistently on every time I'm on the stream, we talk about Arteta. We talk about the failures of Arteta. But you guys had 23 minutes to speak about the game. And I'm pretty sure I did not hear anything about Arteta from Kenny. I'm pretty sure I did not hear anything about Arteta from Aaron in this stream. I heard about it from you in the previous stream, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And when it comes to halftime hooks, only person who mentioned anything about Arteta or getting credit. So when you guys speak about the game, actually speak about every part of the game. Don't just speak about. 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 Don't pick and choose which agendas to go with, because you spend more time. You guys spend more time. You guys spend more time in the first 23 minutes criticizing Martin Odegaard than bigging up the manager who got us through a tie.
Who criticized him? What did I say in criticism?
1 second. By the way, fair criticism, but if you're going to criticize off the back of that kind of result, you should also big up the people that helped us get through this tie. And the manager is a crucial part. The manager is a crucial part.
Credit to the players.
Guess what?
You know what?
If Real Madrid had Mikel Arteta as their manager, not only do they go through this tie, they probably win the fucking whole competition. Because the way that they're coached, you can see that they're not coached properly. You can see that they're not coached properly.
This is Real Madrid.
And the reason why
the Premier League, the Champions League in 2022 and 2024, mate. So you're criticising. I always know every time Real Madrid
lost, going on here? It's 4-4. What are we missing here?
In 2023, they got ruined by Man City, and a year later, they won the Champions League. So by all means, you'll have every right to write them off. But in terms of you yourself, the reason why you didn't give me time to give Arteta credit, the problem is, why should I give Arteta credit? Because every time we win something, it's about Arteta. The players never get the credit, and you are the biggest culprit of them all. You came on here to come here to start causing all sorts of like Benny Hill moments about your hero, Mikel Arteta. And you know full well that I've always admitted and conceded that he's a very good coach. I've always said, can he take us to the next level? That is the question that I've asked. And right now I am waiting. So I have every right, using my fan base, because you don't pay for my season ticket. I pay for it myself. If you want me to praise Arteta, I'm going to send you the bill with my name on, and I'm going to send you my bank details, and you're going to deposit £1,100, which is the cost of my season ticket, and I'll definitely be anything you want me to be. And you're telling me you can let me finish. Next Monday, this Monday coming, they're going to take £71 out of my account to pay for my semi-final ticket. I'm going to send you the bill. And by all means, all you got to do is turn the little knob, and I'll be anything you want me to be. But
okay, so you're telling me if I give you £75, 1 second, you're telling me if I give you £75 and 14 talking points, you'll only mention those 14 talking points for the whole week.
Hey, I'll send you the bill if you want. I'll send you the bill.
No, but will you only mention the 14 talking points? So Kenny, live on right now on Dan Pasta's channel, you're telling me if I pay £75, that's all it takes for you to say everything I asked you.
Here's my bank details. Here.
Okay, I'm going to give you 14 talking points. 14 talking points. No, but you cannot one time. You cannot.
Tell me when you want the sort code and the account number.
Tell me when you want
the sort code and the account number. Tell me when you want the sort code and account number. Anytime now.
Listen. You're telling me you can be bought. You're telling me you can be bought for £14.
I'm going to get a loan out to pay for my season ticket.
£75. £75 you can be bought. Nah, come on, bro. On a realistic.
No, you said I don't give the man any credit.
I'm confused. How did me saying you should give credit to the manager who helped get a masterclass over Real Madrid over 2 legs and win two games turn into a situation where you're asking me to pay £75 for you to give credit to that same manager? It's honestly
I was talking about again. You don't listen to the full point. You only listen to what you want to hear. I said I'm going to send you the bill for my season tickets. You said that you insinuated that people like myself who don't back the manager and were saying things about Bukayo Saka's injury have an agenda against the football club.
You do have an agenda against the manager.
You want to be proved right, which is. If I wanted to be proved right, why do I turn up to matches? Why do I still commit to this football club?
I don't understand. You enjoy the games,
mate. As well,
I enjoy Arsenal.
Even though you don't like Arteta, you enjoy Arsenal, and you have a connection to Arsenal. You're not going to let the manager. You're not going to let the manager stop you from enjoying the game. But the question I asked had nothing to do with your intentions as a fan. My question was, we had 23 minutes spent where all three of you spoke, and Halftime Hooks is the only one who mentioned Arteta and deserving credit. And I would think after beating Real Madrid 5-1 on aggregate, a team which you two probably gave a 0 chance of beating, and you don't credit the manager and you're giving all the credit to the players?
Can you show me evidence?
I have questions. I have questions if we're analyzing the sport fairly. Because if I'm not mistaken, you can give credit to the players, but every time the players do something wrong, you're the first person to say, well, the manager picks the players. You're the first person to say, you know what? Well, the manager's the person who decided to put those players on the pitch that messed up the game. But when it's the other way around, when it's the other way around, and it suits your narrative to say, you know what, it's the players that got this through the time.
Why can't the players get credit? Why don't the players ever get credit? Why is it always the manager?
Well, is it the
players? Why is it always
the
manager? Why can't I give Declan Rice credit? Why should I be different from everyone else? Why can't I say Declan Rice?
You can give Declan Rice credit for his 2 free kicks.
Why can't I praise Timber? Why do I have to exclude them and praise the manager? Why would I have to do that? The players,
you're the first person to criticize the manager if things go wrong. You're the first person to take the blame away from the players and criticize the manager if things go wrong. I've heard you come on here.
You accept the manager. You're the first
I've heard you come on here. I've heard you come on here, and I've heard you come on here and scapegoat the manager for Kai Havertz missing chances.
That's your agenda. That's your agenda. Trust me.
I don't have an agenda here. I'm telling you the honest truth.
If you and Oil struck gold,
I want people to be honest. I don't want agendas and people throwing shit left, right, center. I said Odegaard when he deserves criticism. Fair
you're
play.
Trying to make it about you.
One second.
It's not about
Odegaard
you.
deserves criticism.
It's about Arsenal.
Odegaard deserves criticism, but at the same time, Mikel Arteta deserves praise. And for us to spend more time in this first 23 minutes speaking about Odegaard and how he's been shocking and not giving any credit to the manager who helped us get over Real Madrid over 2 legs, 5-2, Kenny, you have to at least praise the man who helped us get in that position.
Well, we've got you to do. We've got you and Hooks. That's what you and Hooks are there for. That's what you and Hooks are there for. You and Hooks are there because you have a different view.
Okay, so then don't ask me. So then don't press me when I don't criticize the manager. Then
are big fans of Mikel Arteta.
I'm not a big fan of Mikel Arteta.
Oh, I know, but you're not a vocal critic of him like I am.
I criticize him when he warrants criticism.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm not trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that you bring balance to the panel. Egal is an Arteta fan, which I respect 100%. Myself, Aaron, and Dan have had doubts about the manager. You're trying to get us to.
I'm not trying to.
Wait.
No. I'm talking about Egal. Egal's trying to get us.
Already had given Arteta credit, if I'm not mistaken. Aaron's already done it. Just you.
So I'm not allowed to praise the players.
No, you're allowed. The point isn't about you're not allowed to praise the players, but like let's not ignore the fact that it's Arteta that set up the game plan and
of course.
And if things went wrong, best believe if things went wrong, Kenny, you would have done the same thing you did versus other games where you said it's the manager who picks the team, it's the manager who has the decisions at the end of the day, and these players, if they're making mistakes, it's the manager who has to get them out of there.
No, that's football, though. That's football.
That's your prerogative on how you speak about it.
Accountability as well if things don't go wrong. But at the moment,
okay, but you're not. But then you're going to hold somebody accountable for their mistakes. But when they get something right, you're not going to give them any praise.
Well, cool. How can you not give manager the praise? We've beaten the European champions comfortably 5-1 on aggregate.
Okay, so that's all I've been waiting for.
How can you not give the manager praise? I don't understand.
There we go.
That.
Finally got there. 32 minutes in.
How can I right not give the manager praise? But at the end of the day, if I see a performance like that from Declan Rice, and I see Timber, who is basically like risen the levels of how right back plays, I've got to comment on that first. I have to.